Prateek Kuhad, thank you so much for your time. Firstly, I want to ask you, where are you? It's quite looks pretty behind you,
So I'm in Seattle right now,
right?
working at a studio,
Okay,
working on the, next bunch of music that I'll put out.
that's amazing, and that's what people want to know. That's what your fans want to know. So, Prateek, first a bit about you. Since this is the first time I'm getting a chance to interview you, do you work out of there, or do you travel very often?
I travel.
Okay,
I all through like last year and the year before, I was in India.
right.
Before that, I was traveling a lot. I was doing a lot of back and forth between the US and India.
Okay,
And now I'm back here to work on usually like when I'm working on records, just on albums and music in general, especially for larger projects, I'll come
right.
here. The
Amazing.
EP that we just
Hmm.
the EP that we just put out, Shehron Ke Raaz, that was recorded in Bombay though.
Okay.
So I do. I mean, I'll work on stuff in India as well, but it's just whatever works basically.
Right. You've made music, that means in different places. What's your ideal place to make the song that you want? What would you want your surroundings to be? Because it's such a creative process to write, make music.
I mean, I'm not that fussy to be honest, as long as
Okay.
like I have a place where I can be alone and it's relatively quiet.
Right.
The songwriting process, especially.
Yes.
Uh, so the first part is like writing just the song, and that usually I do myself on just an instrument. I don't need
Okay.
too many things. Sometimes I'll write using, you know, like on my like also having my computer or my recording setup so that I can put down
Okay.
ideas as well.
Okay.
But a lot of times it's just like me and my guitar and my phone to like put down the lyrics or whatever, or
Right.
like a piano.
Right. Do surroundings
So
play a role, like where you are recording at what point?
no,
No.
not really, not
Okay.
really. No, yeah.
Okay, how interesting. There's a lot of interest. We all have seen your name almost every day on our phones when we pick up to play music. It's great to put a face to it. And also, there's a lot of interest. I also sent out a question that I'm interviewing you, and I asked people, what do you want to know? They all wanted to know what are you like? I don't know how you're going to answer that, but what they want to know is, what is Pratik like?
I don't know. I don't know what I'm like.
Right. Are you
I
an
guess
in
I'm.
because the music is so
I don't know.
different? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of like. I'm a pretty. I don't know. I guess like similar to how my music like is like in some respects that I'm a
Yeah.
pretty relaxed, like slow person.
Hmm.
You
Hmm.
know. Uh, for the most part, but I can also be like pretty like hyperactive sometimes. It just depends. Like I feel like I oscillate between the two kinds, but
Okay.
generally, like I like to be that way. At least I strive to be like generally peaceful and relaxed in general as much as I can. You know.
That's amazing. So when when the song is releasing, are you someone who would get nervous? Who would get jitters and butterflies in your stomach on the day of the release or something?
No, not really. I think the because usually like what happens is that you put things out for release like a month in advance, so you've
Okay.
committed to a date. So
Right.
that's when I get the butterflies.
Okay. Okay.
When like because you're working on music and then you're refining it, then you're doing the mix and the mastering and all of that stuff, and then eventually there comes a time when you have to submit to basically all online platforms for it to get released, and that's
Right.
usually like a few weeks before. Sometimes it's a few weeks, sometimes it's a month, it just depends. But once you commit to that date, it's hard to change it, so it's kind of like you've put it out already.
Right.
So that's when I do get some like you get a little nervous.
Okay.
But the day of the release is like I'm already expecting it for a while, so
Okay.
it's just exciting mostly, and
Right.
I'm keen to see how people react and stuff like that.
Interesting. When you're, are you confident once you're done with the song, and are you confident that I know this will work? I know this is my song. I know my followers and fans will like it. Does it work like that for you?
No, you're never 100% sure about anything really.
Right.
It's always like, you have to kind of see what happens. It also takes
Oh.
time sometimes. Sometimes you put
Mhm.
something out and it doesn't really do much. And
Okay.
then slowly over time it picks up. I feel like with my music, it takes time for it to sink in and
Yes.
people get used to it. And, it's not like stuff that you listen and you immediately, you
Hmm.
know, uh, just get excited about and want to loop. It's like, I think you get used to it and then it stays with you for a long time. Because I feel like a lot of my fans, a lot of my listeners, uh, listen to my music for a long time. They still listen to my songs and albums that I put out maybe 6, 7 years ago, even.
Sure. And when you hear, okay, when the news comes out that, okay, Obama's playlist has your songs, is that a high? Does that give you a lot of confidence that you're going right?
Yeah, I mean, I think like any sort of I guess it's a kind of a validation, yeah. So it was definitely like felt like things were going in the right direction when that happened, yeah.
Right. And business wise to grow, is that also, I know creativity and business are two separate parallels that go along. Do you take a lot of interest in where you want to go as as a musician? Also, signing with Elektra Records is a huge deal for an Indian, and you have that, and now. So, do you take a lot of interest in that I have to be here in these many years, kind of a thing?
I kind of started doing this pretty much. It was just me and uh, this one guy who I used to work with. He was my manager for like the first like 4, 5 years of my career.
Okay.
And that time it was just me and him. So we just did everything together. So I was really involved in a lot of the, I mean, I was like deeply involved. I had to do those things as well, in terms of like setting goals and making plans and executing those plans and coordinating with people and all those kind of things. Like I was
Right.
not the face of it, my
Right.
manager would be the face of it, but
Mhm.
behind the scenes I'd be doing a lot of stuff as well. So
Right.
I'm used to like, so I kind of got involved in a lot of actually the hands-on stuff.
Oh,
Now I don't have to do it as much because I have a
right.
much bigger team, and
Okay.
I have like managers. I have a manager here in
Mm.
India who are really amazing. I have the label teams in India and in the US. So I have a lot more people who help me do these things,
Okay.
obviously. So it's great. I can focus more on the music
On the
part
music part.
now, but I still like to be, in the know and involved. And you kind of have to be. I mean, ultimately, it's your career, and you
Mhm.
have to decide where you want it to go. And everybody who's working with me is just helping me get there. Uh, and so I have to kind of like at some level uh almost like take the lead on that.
Right. It's a lot of work gone into, reaching where you've reached, and of course, incredible music. How, when did, Pratik, at what point did you feel, when was that one song when it came out that you feel, okay, now I'm kind of somewhere. I've achieved something. This is what success is.
Yeah, I think it was after Cold Mess, basically. I
Right.
think after Cold Mess, and it wasn't like one moment, but
Okay.
things definitely started like picking up in terms of, just I started getting more work, more shows, bigger shows, um, just other like lots of like branded projects and like stuff that just you only get if you have like a legitimately large fan following.
Right. And
Uh,
And when Cold Mess was
so yeah,
being made,
yeah,
yeah, when Cold Mess was being made, did you have an idea? Okay, this may be the song that made, no?
not at all. I mean, I knew it was good
Right.
because I'd played it live a bunch and people loved it live,
Okay.
and people
Okay.
had been asking for it to come out for a long time. And also, like, I think we did a really good job in the studio on that EP, and the production was on point and everything sounded great. So I knew it was going to be good, but I didn't know that uh, it would be that much of a bump up in things across the board for me as it has been. And then
Right.
Kasur was the
Sure.
other turning
Yes.
point, because definitely like in terms of my online presence, and a lot of I think like that got me even closer to more mainstream popularity, because after Kasoor, I think my fan base just like, especially in India, just almost like doubled. It
Right.
felt like, because it's just in terms of how many people were listening to my songs online and everywhere, in terms of numbers, it just increased a lot.
Now, your audience who's listening to this interview and who's watching this. So there's Shehron Ke Raaz. Could you give them an idea who they're watching this interview, what to expect this time?
Uh, I don't know. I don't like telling people what to expect. I think they should just go
Okay,
listen to it.
right. What?
It's
Yeah.
they're all love songs,
Mhm.
and we did a version of an acoustic version of Kasool,
Yes.
which I feel like people were really. I was getting like aggressive messages from fans being like, "Why do you not put that out?" So
Right.
it's
So
a long
that's
time
out
coming,
there
but
for
that's
them.
finally out.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm glad I waited actually, because I think we did a really good job in the studio. It sounds really good
Okay.
with that acoustic version. And yeah, and then the other three songs are
Hone do. Yeah.
Khone Do, Tere Hi Hum, and
Yeah.
Shehron Ke Raaz is the title track. And I worked with my long time uh like collaborator, at least on like the percussion and the drum stuff,
Okay.
with Nikhil Vasudevan. And then I worked with like Rohan Rajadaksha, who's also like
Hmm.
an amazing
Yes.
keyboard player. He's done so much work. He worked on the Gully Boy soundtrack, I believe,
Yes.
and but done a bunch of really really cool stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so we basically produced the record
Mm-hmm.
uh, together.
Right.
And so there's a lot of that sound, his sound in there, especially, I feel like. And yeah, that's it, man. I mean, we did the
Right.
best in making it sound as cool as possible, and everybody should go listen to it.
It is, and it's already out, guys. Please listen to it. And just before doing this interview, also, I had to hear the full thing. Totally enjoyed it, like I've enjoyed all your songs. I want to ask you, when you sign with Elektra Records, what does that mean? For a lay person who's watching this interview, what does that mean when you sign with an international label?
You just get support. You just get
Okay.
different kinds of support in terms of their team works. There's a lot that goes behind a
Okay.
musician. I guess I should start with saying that for a lay person, a lot of people don't know that there's multiple people working with me who
Yeah.
make all of this happen.
Mm.
And it's really, without them, this wouldn't happen. A lot of
Right.
the stuff that, like the marketing pushes that we do, and most all the stuff on the business side, even otherwise, like even a lot of the creative stuff also, in terms of inputs, like like they're like sounding boards, everybody I work with.
Big thumbs
So
up to your team. Big thumbs up to your team.
yeah, big thumbs up to those guys. And that's one big thing that a label brings in. They just have a much bigger team. Like there's like
Okay.
50 people at Elektra who do different things,
Right.
which I can go to them for help for everything from like design to marketing or whatever.
Okay.
And yeah, it's basically just support. It's like financial support and that support and all kinds of other things.
Great. It's great to see, see you go places and, take your music places. We are really happy that one after another, you are still, we had a lockdown here, but you continue to make the music. And guys, please go and listen to Shehron Ke Raaz. It's already out. It's lovely. And Prateek, thank you. I got an idea of what you're like. Very, very interesting. And I hope
Cool.
people got the answer too. Thank you so much, and hope you have a safe trip and come back soon. And
Thanks, man.
someday we get to see you live once again in Mumbai.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
take care.
excited.
Bye bye.
See ya.